Urban legends usually start the same way. A whispered warning, a cautionary tale, a rule you're supposed to follow without ever asking why. Don't go into the woods at night. Don't look in the mirror and call a name. Don't stop for the crying baby on the side of the road. These are just the polite warnings. The true terror, the one that hunts in the dark silence of your personal space, is the Counting Man. His legend isn't a simple tale. It's a mosaic of terror, stitched together from the deepest, most forgotten corners of the web. Corrupted files, anonymous pleas for help, and journal entries that stop mid-scream. The pattern is fragmented, but the core command is a razor-sharp absolute. If you're walking alone, and the footsteps trailing you, to break that rule is to invite an oblivion too swift and total for a single witness to remain. The first word is always one. It's not shouted. It's a deliberate, conversational whisper, a sound that feels less like it's coming from behind you and more like it's unfolding inside your skull. The next night, it's 2, and then 3. The count is a metronome of pure dread. It only appears after dark, when the world is stripped down to you and the empty space just over your shoulder. The footsteps are not an echo. They are a perfect, mirrored twin of your gait, a haunting parody of your own existence. This escalating cadence is your sentence. Break the rule. Dare to steal a glance into the darkness, and you are instantly, violently erased. No body, no struggle. The true horror is the ascent toward 10. Whatever ancient, malevolent ritual concludes on that final number, it is absolute. The ending is never recounted, never described, only felt in the sudden, violent silence of abandoned police transcripts and half-written journals. Our descent into this nightmare begins with Decard 42, a name salvaged from the rotting digital archives of a college forum in 2009. It started as a joke, a late-night post about a whisper, one heard while walking home. He called it a prank, but the next night, the sound wasn't in the street. It was a cold, precise syllable, 2, delivered by the same unknown, mocking voice. The terror was swift and isolating. As the count, his final post, heartbreakingly concise, came from inside his room. 9, right outside my door this time. I don't think I can keep this up. The account vanished. The horrific implication of his silence is clear. The Counting Man is not bound by streets or shadows. Once he has targeted you, the count continues relentlessly. A personalized, inescapable doom that follows you right into the perceived safety of your own 4 walls. The collective evidence transforms the Counting Man from folklore into a horrific case study. Buried in a series of scanned, uploaded notebook pages from 2016 is the commuter's journal, the desperate record of a night shift worker whose count began at 5. Driven to paranoia, she tested the rules, unable to bear the pressure. she attempted a terrifying compromise, glancing at her reflection in the black, vacant glass of the bus window, thinking it wouldn't count as turning. The mistake was immediate and soul-shattering. In the reflective darkness, her own image smiled back, a chilling, silent distortion, and its lips moved, not hers, to perfectly mouth the number 7. The last entries, scrawled by a shaking hand, describe the horror closing in. It's with me, everywhere, not just on the street. In the bus aisle, where there's no room, the phenomenon is terrifyingly portable. A curse that latches onto the individual, stalking them across neighborhoods and oceans. One user, ground level on Reddit in 2014, tried to shatter the cycle. Panicked by the count hitting 4, he sprinted blindly, breaking his rhythm. The footsteps stumbled. The voice ceased. It worked. The next night, the count was back to 1. It was the worst mistake of his life. The reset was not a reprieve. It was an escalation. The new 1 was not a whisper. It was a deep, gravelly sound, physically closer, accompanied by the crushing weight of labored, ragged breathing right at his ear. The intensity never reset. It layered. Soon, the counting man was with him all the time. In the grocery store aisle, in the dead, the footsteps became heavy, deafening bootfalls that rattled the very floorboards. His last words described not a voice, but a sound so physically violent it shook the walls and made his ears bleed. The reset didn't save him. It merely angered the entity, turning a stealthy predator into a constant, overwhelming force, proving the horror doesn't tally the nights, it tallies you. The terrifying scope of the counting man stretches far beyond the digital age. The earliest confirmed reference is a grainy 1891 Ohio newspaper clipping, reporting a farmer's family outside Killick, tormented by phantom footsteps circling their porch for 9 nights. I must not turn. The crew begs me. They do not hear it as I do. The pages that follow are blank. This isn't folklore mutating. Reports from Brazil, Kukant, Japan, Kazayu Auto, and Eastern Europe all describe the exact same ritual. Footsteps in sync, a single male voice counting 1 number per night. The absolute rule not to turn, and the final, soundless disappearance at 10. This unnerving global precision suggests the counting man is not a story that adapts, but a horrific constant, a phenomenon that has always been behind us, a primordial presence that predates memory and has simply found a new medium in which to spread. The final, paralyzing piece of the pattern reveals the horror's true mechanism. The counting man doesn't hunt randomly. He waits for invitation. In nearly every documented case, from the initial college student admitted he'd read a stupid email about a man who counts. The commuter's journal noted, I thought this was just another internet ghost story. Then I started hearing it myself. This is the core horror. Knowledge itself is the trigger. The phenomenon doesn't spread like a rumor. It replicates with chilling precision because the story isn't folklore. It's contagion. Every account, every whispered warning, every blog post, every transcript is not a shield, but an infection vector. The more detail you read, the more firmly the rules lock into place in your subconscious. And the closer you are to hearing that first footfall drop into perfect, fatal sync with your own. The vanishing accounts, the journals that stop mid-sentence, they don't end because the victim disappeared. They end because by writing them, by passing on the rules, the victim has ensured the cycle will begin for the next reader. The consistency of this ritual across centuries forces us to confront the most terrifying implication. The counting man doesn't hunt. He is summoned. The final, crucial pattern is that the victim always encountered the legend first. The college sophomore read a joke email. The commuter dismissed it as an internet ghost story. The 1743 sailor heard a specific dark tale the night before the count began. Awareness is the fatal ignition. The knowledge of the rules, the footsteps, the countdown, the absolute command not to turn, is the very spark that allows the entity to tether itself to your consciousness. This means the counting man isn't a myth spreading. It's a terrifying cognitive contagion. Every fragmented post, every archived thread, the accounts stop before 10, not because there's nothing left to tell, but because the very act of trying to understand, of absorbing the rules, ensures you are the next victim. And now that you know enough to ask what happens next, listen closely. The footsteps have already begun behind you. Thank you for watching. If you found this story compelling and unsettling, please give it a like. Comment below with your theory on the curse. And share this video to support the channel. I'll see you in the next nightmare.